with introducing our lovely spiritual mentor of the International Glamour Project, Dr. Shuchi Kalia Lakhanpal. Well, she's a gynecologist by profession, and she brings life into this world literally. And after bringing the life in the world, she has another responsibility that she's taken up to make lives better. That is why she's become a spiritual mentor, and we have immense pleasure and honor in having you on board with us at the International Glamour Project. Thank you so much, Dr. Shuchi, for coming on board. And yes, you have so many talents, and spirituality and understanding the human mind is not the only thing that you're great at. You've also been the fourth runner-up at the Mrs. India pageant in 2019, and that's where you and me met. So yes, the pageantry sisterhood taking it ahead.
Very true. So actually, Dr. Akshata, I'm honored and privileged to be on the same platform here, and it is immensely joyful for me to be able to bring about a small, even though a very small, but yet an impactful change in the lives of these women. I see you, and you are inspirational in the fact that you have decided to empower women and have brought in such a beautiful project, the International Glamour Project. I am glad that I can be a part of this whole thing with you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. So, Dr. Shuchi, all our viewers would love to hear from you your journey since your teenage days, since your childhood days, to be occupying the seat of a mentor, a spiritual mentor, or the International Glamour Project. So, if you just could go take us through that entire journey.
Okay, so I'm an obstetrician and a gynecologist. I've been born and brought up in Delhi, then educated in a convent school. So I was a topper throughout in school also, an all-rounder actually. I would be the one who's going out in states, and I...
Oh, we lost you. You were a topper and then we lost you. So okay, take it back.
So, okay. So now you can hear me?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So I think it has been a part of my upbringing. My parents had always been very supportive, very caring, very loving in whatever endeavors I used to, step into. So I think that spirituality part actually became a part of me unknowingly, because they were always there with me, supporting me, and then that is where
we've lost you again.
You have? Can you hear me?
We've lost you again, Dr. Shuchi.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Yes.
You can. Okay. So then once I went into my MBBS was there, I kind of found my calling. My calling had always been surgery. Surgery is the passion of my life, and so I picked up obstetrics and gynecology, and then went on to super specialize in infertility and laparoscopy. However, I have always loved to go beyond the boundaries, to never limit myself, and that is where I decided to do a little extra splint, which was in the form of Mrs. India, where I met you, and then I was a fourth runner-up in the Mrs. India contest. I am also an ardent poet, and I have always believed in relentless positivity, as you know. That is the thing, that always look at the sunshine. The shadows will obviously fall behind, is the mantra of my life. And
lovely.
I think that's about it.
Wow, you're such a positive person.
Well, so are you.
Thank you. So let's start with the session. We have a list of questions ready for you that have been sent to us by our pageant contestants and our aspirants. So yes, let's start with the main topic of today's session. A happy mind is a happy you. So how is it, Dr. Shuchi, how is it that somebody can be happy at all the time at any given point of time in life?
Okay. So this is a very beautiful question actually. When we're all born, you might have seen a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old play in the house. You would have seen that they are always happy. Always. So they are closest to nature. They are the closest to the universal energy. They don't have to find a reason to be happy. They have to find a reason to be sad. So if they are hurt, if they are
Yeah.
hungry, they'll cry. They will never just cry just like that. However, this joy, instead of growing over the years, once we become 20, 30, 40, instead of becoming multifold, the joy takes a backseat and the sorrows tend to come in. So even though we should have been much more joyful, we actually look for reasons to be smiling, to be happy. We've lost,
Right.
yeah. So what we've lost is our sense of inner joy, which we had, but we lose over the years. So then, what is it that will make you happy? Is it something in the external world? Anything in the world, do you think it can make you happy permanently? Say, for example, a chocolate ice cream. Now, I am a big fan of chocolate ice creams. So, say I've had one chocolate ice cream. I'm very happy. I am blissful. I am in another world. My friend now offers me a second chocolate. I eat that. A third chocolate ice. After having 10 chocolate ice creams, do you think I still feel happy about eating that? No, I'll feel nauseated. I'll feel pukish. So if the ice cream was directly associated with happiness, then it should have continued even after the 10th ice cream. So that is a simile which works in all things in the world. There is nothing in the world that once it comes, either it will bring with it a reason to have more of it, or if you don't have it, you will feel like going out chasing it, and then again, if you can't get it, you will be sad. So what is it that you can have
Right.
that you're sure that now I'll be happy? Is there any such thing? Now that any such thing is unison with the universal energy. Once you have
Right.
aligned your mind, your heart, your soul with the universal energy, is when you will be truly happy. Happiness per se is
Great.
happy is a word which is linked with this world. However, bliss or eternal joy or ecstasy are the words which will happen once you are in unison. Once you have realized who you are, once you have found out yourself. So that is the journey we're all here. What is the difference between animals and us? Us speak of intelligence. It tells us that we are more than just animal instincts. We're not just here to eat, sleep, and reproduce. We have a higher purpose, right?
Okay, that's great. So,
So,
there are so many takeaways coming from Dr. Shuchi there. Firstly, we have to be in unison with our heart, our mind, and the reason that we can find happiness, that reason lies within us. You don't need to go looking for external factors. The presence of a chocolate ice cream, the very valid example that you gave us, because all of us love chocolate ice cream, and yes, but that's not, the happiness doesn't lie in that ice cream. The happiness lies within. And yeah, and the fact that you told us about how we are closer to the energy in the universe, that speaks volumes about the understanding of happiness. So each one of us has to make that attempt and effort to find that happiness within us rather than looking for it in the external factors. Right, Dr. Shuchi?
yes, yes. So
Absolutely.
that's where I was taking it. Now, there's one person who everyone knows, Steve Jobs. Everyone
Yes,
knows that he was at the zenith of success. He had everything
absolutely.
going for him. The whole world knew him. The whole world knew him as a very renowned, capable, and wealthy person. So, if he had all the
Yes.
wealth in the world, was he a happy person? Because that's what we usually associate, that fame, success,
Yes, we
and wealth will
associate
make you
wealth
happy.
with happiness. Yes, we do.
Yeah. However, there are some words I'd like to read out to you. They are the words which were
Sure.
the last words of Steve Jobs. So I'll just go through them. I'll kind of shorten them a little. So Steve
Okay.
Jobs said that I reached the pinnacle of success in the business world. In others' eyes, my life was an epitome of success. However, aside from work, I had little joy. Wealth was the only thing that I had. And when I'm lying on the sick bed, I realize that all the recognition, all the wealth that I took so much pride in has paled away. And it is meaningless in the face of impending death. When I have accumulated so much wealth, I feel that I should have had something more important. Perhaps relationships, arts, or dreams from my younger days. Non-stop pursuit of wealth will just make you a twisted person like me, he said. So God gave us the senses to let us feel the love in everyone's heart and not the illusions brought by wealth. The wealth I cannot take with me. It's only the memories precipitated with love that'll go with me. True riches will follow. Love will take you 1,000 miles. Life has no limit. Go where you want to go. Reach the height that you want to reach. It is all in your hands and in your heart. So, treasure love, treasure family, treasure your spouse, treat yourself well, and cherish others. So, these are beautiful lines which he
Wow.
says as at his deathbed, which tell us that even with
Absolutely.
all the money in the world, all the success, what actually matters is love. Love, the true love.
Yes, absolutely. Love, happiness, friendships, relationships. This is the real wealth and treasure. Sometimes in this
True
world
wealth.
full of materialistic pleasures, we tend to forget and forget the importance of these things. But I think the COVID-19 pandemic has taught each one of
Yeah.
us a lot how we can value these things. Yes, so absolutely a huge giveaway from Dr. Shuchi coming in there. Find your happiness in yourself and not in the external things. Connect with the energy in the universe. Be in unison with your heart, your mind, your inner self. And like she said, she really idolizes Steve Jobs. And the last words that she just read out from his book, value love, value happiness, value relationships. So, Dr. Shuchi, shall we move on to the next question now?
Yes, please.
Okay, the next question is going to be about, yes, let's talk about pageant ethics and pageant etiquettes and how a real queen should conduct herself.
Okay. So I think in the pageant, what we're looking for, the first thing is impeccable integrity, the dignity, the grace with which you will be carrying yourself. It is all about compassion and love, first for yourself and also for your fellow queens, your sister queens. We would want all of you to be very careful of the rules and guidelines that we're giving you out. Really appreciate if you're punctual, you're listening to your managers, and you're conducting yourself with compassion. To have anything less than that, to be going around maligning others, to have and see, it is all about good competition. We're looking in for sportsman spirit. We're not looking for people who are there to defeat others. We're looking for people who are there to be better versions of themselves and beat the person who they
Correct.
were yesterday. So if you can be better than the
Yes.
person you were yesterday, then you can be the winner. However, if you're trying to, defeat A, B, C, D, then probably you won't be the one who'll be winning the crown.
Wow, that's such a wonderful thing to hear from you. So, all you ladies, Dr. Shuchi has given you the most golden tip from the pageant etiquettes or the pageant ethics section. Uh, be there at the pageant, go through your journey, not to defeat your pageant sister or your competitor. You are there to defeat yourself that you were there yesterday, because today you are a better version of yourself. So if you have
Right.
bettered yourself from yesterday, you are inching closer to that winning goal, that target, that crown. Great, great, Dr. Shuchi. So nice. And plus they have something called as pageant sisterhood, which is a lifetime gift that all the contestants will be enjoying. Like me and Dr. Shuchi met during the pageant, but we continue to be pageant
yes.
sisters, and we've taken our friendship to the next level.
So meeting Dr. Akshata at the pageant was actually a beautiful surprise for me. We were there for each other throughout the pageant. I think there were times when I was not feeling very great, and Dr. Akshata would just walk in and make me feel better. Like I wasn't very good with the makeup, with the dresses, and she'll be like helping me all of the time that this looks good on you and this color suits you. And then if there were any other hassles which Dr. Akshata would face, and I would try to be there for her. So we were basically trying to make each other's journey smooth. We weren't trying to
Yeah.
restrict anybody else's growth. We were trying to be there for the other person. We would practice questions together. We had a gala time. So
Oh yeah.
it was a very enjoyable
Yes, we would
stay
practice
for us.
questions
So,
in our. Yes, yes, I clearly remember this. We would practice. You would be the jury member, and I would be the contestant, and vice versa. And we would
yes,
try to pose and answer in the best possible way, imagining
shooting
and
questions.
visualizing ourselves on stage. And yes, we were
Yeah.
each a support system there, because yeah, you're away from your family, you're away from your friends, and you need to find strength. And if you have a supporting pageant sister, just like I have found you, it just makes your life easier.
Easy, yes. Sailing through is easier.
Thank you. Yeah, true queens uplift each other. That's the real definition of a true queen.
So be there for each other in case there's one person who doesn't have, say, you're in the rehearsals, there's one person who doesn't have a safety pin. Go on, help her with that. If there's someone who has having a little problem with the dress, you can be there for each other in that way. And then there'll be someone who will be there for you. So everybody's journey becomes beautiful, and the whole thing becomes an affair to remember.
Absolutely. And at the end, have compassion for everything. Everybody is not perfect. Everybody has their strengths. Everybody has their weaknesses. A true queen focuses on the strengths and neglects the weaknesses. Right, Dr. Shuchi?
Yes.
Great. So, moving on to the next question. So, in our country, Dr. Shuchi, pageantry is associated with mostly Bollywood, glamour, modeling. So, what are that's not the case in international pageantry. There are a whole lot of things that pageant queens can actually do and end up doing in terms of their career, in terms of their image, in terms of their life. So, what are the roles of a pageant queen according to you?
Okay. For me, the pageant queen should be, first of all, a role model. That's the role that I have in mind for her. Yes, you can be a model, you can be an actress, but it's better to be a role model following becoming this pageant queen. Now, once you become a role model, you have to be very sure of what are your areas of interest, what are your callings, what are the areas in the society that you want to work for. So, becoming a social activist, probably joining or making an NGO. Now, even singularly, you need not be a part of an organization. Singularly, also, you can go ahead and make a huge impact in the lives of a lot of women. Now, for example, you can just look at Dr. Akshata. Now, she has gone on to become an entrepreneur following her pageant. Now, she was Mrs. India 2019, and now she is the Mrs. International World 2019-20. Now, for her, you look at her, she has become an entrepreneur. Why? Because she found her calling. And what was her calling? Empowering other women. You should all look at yourselves the day you joined, the day you auditioned, until today's date. Every one of you would have felt a change. All of you would have felt that you have become a little better. Now, probably that little nudge which you needed to improve yourself came from her. So this is the type of calling we're talking about. Find your calling, find out what you want to be, and do that following becoming a pageant queen. Now, you don't have to really go out and become a model, an actress. You may not have the waist for it. But you cannot let your talent go waste because of it. So use your talent.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely.
There
So
have
you could
a lot of pageant queens Okay, so there have been a lot of pageant queens, like say Yukta Mukti, who decided to become a civic activist after becoming a pageant queen. She did enter the industry, the film industry. Then she went on to work for the HIV/AIDS patients, for the thalassemia patients, the breast cancer patients. Also, Dinah Hayden, she decided to take a step back from the film industry or the model industry, the ramp, and she went on to work for CRY, for PETA, for the Greenpeace causes. Priyanka Chopra has been working relentlessly for children's rights, has been working against domestic violence. So you need to find your calling and then work towards that. That's what I think you should do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yes, of course, the pageantry field does open a world of opportunities for you, which is related, which that world is related to the glamour industry. Yes, you can become a model, you can become an actress, you could also become a spokesperson, you could become a brand ambassador, you could speak for some organization, you could speak for a cause, you can be a social activist, you can be a speaker, a mentor, like you've chosen, Dr. Shuchi, to spiritually help everybody to find their inner self, their inner glamour. So you can become a motivational speaker, you can become a spiritual mentor, you can become an entrepreneur. But all in all, you have to be a role model first before you choose any of this. And most importantly, find your calling. That is most important. If your heart is not in it, it will never become a part of your life, your journey. If it is your calling, nobody will be able to take it from you. Whatever your goal, whatever your target, whatever your aim is, if it is your calling, give it your 100% and you nail it. Great.
True.
And
Nailed
over
it.
it, all the ladies also get a brilliant opportunity to represent their country and be the
Yes,
spokesperson and the brand
internationally.
ambassador of the pageant, and go out there overseas and interact with delegates who come from other countries, who are residing in other parts of the world. And so that is why you need to put your best foot forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now that you've taken this topic, I'd like to say that what is it that you have to say about redefining beauty? Because the International Glamour Project is redefining beauty. You said something like you don't need to have that skinny size 0 waist, but don't waste your talent. So
Yes.
what do you have to say about redefining beauty and offering so many opportunities to these women?
Okay, so here when we are in the International Glamour Project, we are not looking for a particular body type. We are not looking for someone who's so thin or so tall or who can walk the perfect walk. What we're looking for here is someone who attracts us, not just us, attracts the world. We're looking for someone who can balance life, their own personal life, their careers, and the pageant which they're stepping into. We're looking for someone who has a lot of strength because, see, the life will always throw good balls at us. It's up to us to bounce them or to just sit on them. So
Wow.
we're looking for people who can bounce the ball and then come out as winners. Now, this, what I'm saying, is actually inner glamour, the inner self. That is what we are focusing on. How beautiful you look outside may fade away in some time. The inner beauty is here to stay. The inner beauty will give you inner peace. Your inner beauty will help you connect with others, will help you uplift others. And that is why you're here. That's why you're here in this world. So it's best to find your calling again, as I said before. Find your calling and help others. That is how you will be a success in the world and also in the pageant.
Wow, that's such a wonderful thought. Plus, I feel there are certain definitions that have been set in our country. I think it's time to redefine things. I think it's time to
Yes.
set newer standards. I think it's time to be limitless, as you said in the beginning of your session. If you're limitless, there is no capping, there is no boundary. You define your life, you define your
Your
image,
own.
your profile, and what you want to be. So I'm glad you gave Priyanka Chopra's example there. Yes, she's been the Miss World. She was crowned as Miss World at the age of 18. Yes, she entered the glamour industry, but there's so much work that she's done with UNICEF as well. And today, where we see her, she's not only been a pageant queen, she's not only been a social activist, but today, when people see her in USA, she is the real ambassador of India.
A
And
role model.
every Indian is so proud to see her where she has reached. So I think one of the most successful Miss Worlds, as we call them.
And she had her set of challenges when she was a young girl. She was bullied badly in school for her color, for her, kind of body.
Yes,
She was
yes.
majorly bullied. And then because of that, in spite of that, she went on to try to improve herself so much that she could be the world queen as she is today.
Yes. So all you ladies, the International Glamour Project will give you all the grooming that you require, but you have to find your own calling. That's what Dr. Shruchi tells you. So follow it to the T. Well, the next question is from Shrishti. She says, as there are so many emotions involved during the pageant journey, how can we be more balanced?
Balanced. Okay. Yes, coming on into the pageant, you will be feeling a lot of emotions. You might feel a little nervousness. You might feel a little stress. You might feel, too much overwhelmed by so many people and you've not interacted with so many people before. So all these kind of emotions will at that time. Now, how to manage emotions should not really be a pageant question, but also in your life. So every time you should be managing your emotions, not just in the pageant. And probably the way towards that is first accepting the emotion that you're having. Once you accept it, that you're feeling a little nervous, you're feeling a little stressed, is when you can address the issue. Stress, again, I say that it can be of two types. There's a good stress or the eustress, and there's a bad stress or the distress. So a little bit of eustress is good for us. It helps us go a little farther than we would have gone otherwise. It just helps us cross the line. It pumps the adrenaline and helps us perform better. Good. However, the distress or the bad stress, we're going to keep that out. That is the aim. Now, we don't stress over, oh, I don't want to be stressed. I don't want to be stressed and get stressed. So that's not that's not what we're thinking. How to manage this stress should be the next question that I would want to answer. Now, first, there are some breathing exercises that I would want to tell you that helps you control both anxiety, nervousness, and even stage fright. There'll be people who will, come to us that we've not ever been on stage and we're going to be there. So how to manage that? So from today only, everyone should make a little breathing exercise. Just do it for 15 minutes every day and you'll feel a huge change within yourself. All that you have to do is breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and breathe out for a count of 4. So you go breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. And you exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. And you breathe in again. So do this very slowly. It's going to be a slow breathing. Inhale and exhale slowly every day for 15 minutes. At this time, if any thought enters your mind, let it come and then let it go. Don't hold on to the thought. Okay. Now, once you become used to doing this, you will feel a kind of, you can feel a kind of balance in the center of your body. You'll feel at some point that there'll be no thought in your brain at all. And that is the aim of this exercise. Why? Because there's no thought. There is no negative thought also, and there's no positive thought, which means that you are again one with the universal energy at that time. That will help you manage your nervousness and your anxiety, because at that time you will have no emotion flowing within you. Once this becomes a routine exercise and you're like, say, about to enter the stage or you're about to answer a question and you just do breathing for 2 minutes, you'll be in that state again and you'll be able to allay your anxiety or your nervousness. So that's the first
Wow.
thing that
It's already
this
having a very
breathing
calming effect. Even when
have
you
to
were telling us
always,
about the exercise.
yes. Okay, so further, I would say that also you should always eat very healthy at that time. Try to sleep more and sleep in hours. Don't try to stress yourself thinking that there's a session tomorrow and I should be outperforming others, so I should just sleep for 2 hours. And if you do that, then your next day is going to go. So your nervousness, your emotions, and everything will be outward. And then, so Akshata, I don't think we can see you very clearly because your video is a little blurred.
Is it? Okay. Uh,
Yes.
now is it fine?
But
Now is
it's
it fine?
okay. I
Is
think
it
it's
okay?
okay. We can hear you, anyways, so it's okay.
Okay. Now can you see me?
No. No.
No.
We can't really see you.
Uh,
But then I can hear you.
okay. I was unaware of this because I can see
I,
myself
I
very
think I'll go
clearly.
on with the, I think I'll just manage the emotional part till the time Dr. Akshita is clearly visible again. So I was saying that
Yeah.
we need to work on a gratitude journal. That is one thing which I love saying. Just make a diary and every day enter one thing you're thankful for. Every single day, you'll find multiple things. Believe me, when you're out looking for it, you'll find multiple things. Just enter one in your gratitude journal every single day, especially on
Yeah,
very
the
difficult days.
contestants already have
Then,
the International Glamour Project journal that has been given to them,
yes,
so they could enter
yes.
it
So
in
that
that.
journal is a very, very beautiful way of actually finding your own selves out because we've put in questions where you will discover your own self. So go on, fill it up, and then we'll also have an insight into yourself once you're there.
Okay, can you see me now, Dr. Shuchi?
Yeah, it's much better. It's much better, Doctor.
It's much better. Okay, so
Yes,
okay,
yeah, it's
then I think
perfect
let's
now.
move on to
Yeah, very
the
good.
next. It's better, right?
Perfect.
Oh, great. So the next question is by Anupama. She says, "Is being nervous a good thing?"
Yes. So, Anupama, I would say nervousness, good, you have accepted that it is there. That's the first step. A little bit of nervousness, as I just said, is good. It will, give you a push forward. However, we need to work on this nervousness so that once we are there on stage, it doesn't exist to the extent to damage us. If it's there and propelling us forward, great. But if it's pulling us back, then we need to work on it. So a little bit is good, yes,
Perfect.
but then we need to work on the rest.
Right, right. For example, a person like me, if I'm not nervous, I think something's wrong with me. When I'm going to do something very important, I need to be nervous. That's what I feel because that nervousness sometimes brings out the best in me. And if I'm not nervous, I
Yes,
feel I will not be able to perform to the best of my ability. So I think it links back to the good stress and the bad stress that you mentioned about.
yes, yes.
Great, great,
If it
great.
propels
Okay.
you forward, it's
Great, thank you. So the next question is again by Anupama. She says, "How can you control the degree of nervousness?"
okay. I think we've worked on that. First, we work with the breathing. We keep ourselves balanced. We don't, overflow with emotion. We keep a gratitude journal. We are happy for where we are. We're not, putting our life at stake when we're on stage. It's not as if we don't win, everything is going to finish. That's not the case. If this doesn't happen, something else which is even better is going to come up for you, like it did for a lot of us. And I've given you examples also that it is not winning the pageant which will, give you a successful life. However, if you do win, it's great because you get to represent your country. You need to project yourself. You get to project yourself, and that's great. However, not everyone will win. There's only one, two, or three winners. Other than that, other people are not losers. What happens is you're all queens. You all get to learn. In this journey till date, you've already learned so much. And there we'll be, we'll try our level best to make you grow even more. And every day you'll have multitudes of growth. Now that kind of growth is difficult to find, and you may not have ever ventured into that kind of growth. If you do, then you're a winner anyways. Keep that in mind, that winning is not everything. Yes, it is important, but it is not the end of the world if you don't win. You will still have something better to look forward to. We all
And the fact
were
that
in
you've reached that stage. Yes, and the fact that
Isn't
you've
that-
reached that stage and you've gone through this entire process of transformation, that brings out a new you on the other side. And that new you, maybe, who knows, you may be signed as a brand ambassador for a fitness company tomorrow. Who knows, you may be signed as a mentor or a speaker for some organization that motivates people. So you have to again find what you're best at and then say,
Passionate
yes,
about.
I have bettered myself and I have reached a stage where I can give back to where I started from. I get the opportunity to transform other people's lives because I have myself undergone that transformation.
Yes, very true.
Great. So I have another question. It's from Nena ji. I'm getting stressed as sometimes I feel my social media posts are going unnoticed. I may be
Okay.
wrong.
Okay, so Nainaji, I think that your fear is unwarranted because all of the posts, we are keeping a very good track of everyone's records. We are very eagerly and happily and, graciously following all of your posts. And we are very happy to see the kind of growth you're all showing in your posts. You've all shown that you are bettering yourself every day. Someone's working out, someone's getting awards. So it's all very good. And we are taking care of all of your posts. So there's nothing to worry in that. You keep working and detach yourself from the result as of now. The result is not in our hands, it's not in your hands. So you keep working hard and just work because you want to work. Detach yourself from the result and the result will be very beautiful. I can assure you that.
Wow, that's such a brilliant way. So control your present because live in your present is what you can do. Don't think about what is going to happen in the future and don't anticipate too much. And everybody's hard work will get paid off. If you're working hard, you will reap the benefits.
Yes. So with that, Dr. Akshada, I would also want to add the concept of mindfulness, which I was wanting to share with our queens, because mindfulness is being in the present moment, being aware of where you are right now. In that, there is no regret from the past. There is no fear of the future. You're just where you are right now. And that's an excellent way. If we can just practice this mindfulness, it's an excellent way to control our nervousness, our anxieties, our stage fright. Because when a question is thrown at you, you're just dealing with the question. There is no anxiety whether this answer will make me the winner. There is no regret that whether or not I have prepared properly. You're just there. The judge is asking you 2 plus 2 and you know the 4, and that's all that you're telling them. You're telling them it's 4. That's it.
Right. You're speaking about the question answer session on stage, and it just took me back to that. I could visualize and imagine you and me standing on stage in the top 5. And
Yes.
we were asked the question. Do you remember the question, Shuchi?
The current status of women in the world. I think that was the question. What is the
do you think is the status? Yeah, what do you think women in the world are? Something like
current,
that.
Yes.
And
Current.
yeah. Trust me, guys. I may have scored a little higher than Dr. Shuchi, but I personally loved her answer much more. And I think that the judges are really. So you don't know what the judges are going to think. In fact, she said something like,
Yes.
"Women are the carriers of humanity, and you just went on, and I kept looking at you like, wow, brilliant.
Yes,
So
I think we are all very, we have a lot of gratitude because we were both at a very beautiful place and it gave us a lot of things to cherish. So, all good.
yeah, so just like Dr. Shuchi said, say what is there in your heart, speak what is there in your heart and what you really believe in. Don't try to recite some rehearsed answers, because that's not what you are. If you bring out the real self in you, you will be noticed. You will be noticed by
Yes.
many, not one, but many. Great.
Yes.
So moving on to the next question. Oh yeah, this has been a common question come across all the three categories: Miss Teen India, Miss India, as well as Mrs. India. So they're asking you about the different emotions that they go through and the different expectations that each of them has when they're in the pageant journey as well as on stage. So can you throw some light on that?
Okay. So since there are three different categories, I think let's deal with let's deal with them one by one. First is the Miss Teen category. Now this Miss Teen category,
I think we lost
you
you
know,
there.
and
Dr.
they're
Shruti, you'll
just
have to
bubbling
repeat.
with energy.
Hello, hello. We lost
Can you
you.
hear me?
You'll have to again take on the Miss Teen
Okay.
category again.
Okay, so I'm saying that that category is very close to my heart because these young girls, they're bubbling with energy and their smiles, you know, that's unaffected by the world, and I just love looking at them. Now these children, they're not really children, but yes, they're very young. They're untouched by the world. So I think that that's the time when you think you know everything. You have very strong opinions about, you know, how you're going to deal with the world, and you think that it's going to be just right. However, that's not true because at that age we do form opinions, and not all of them will last you a lifetime because there will be changes. So you may get, you know, perplexed by small problems. Say that like a safety pin, you can't find a safety pin. Instead of, you know, focusing on the problem, instead of thinking that there is no safety pin, focus on the solution. That what is it that you can do to get over the problem. So whenever a problem strikes, focus on the solution instead of focusing on the problem. And that will carry you forward. That is going to take you to the next step. Again, you have always been in school, you've dealt with academics, you've dealt with teachers, and now you'll be dealing with a very different, you know, set of people. So don't be overwhelmed because we are all here and with a lot of love. We are here for you with a lot of love. So just show us the kind of the person you are. Just project your personality on us. And that's all that is required. Enjoy this journey. You've been given this journey at a very young age. So enjoy it and use it for your growth. I think that's what is there for them.
Great. So let me
Then
just sum up what Dr. Shuchi said for the Miss Teen category. So all you girls who are participating in the Miss Teen India category or wish to participate in the Miss Teen India category, Dr. Shuchi says don't panic, don't get overwhelmed. If you have a problem cropping up, find the solution rather than spending your energy on focusing on the problem. Focus on the solution, not on the problem. And you've been given this opportunity at such a young age. You're going to go there on the stage, face so many people. Three of you will also go overseas and represent your country, interact with myriad people, different kinds of people. So enjoy this process so that it adds to your growth, adds to your journey as an individual. Great advice for our Miss Teen India contestants, Dr. Shuchi. So let's move on to the Miss India category.
Okay, so for the Miss India category, I think what they're looking for at this age and this time in their life is a career option. So I think they are very dependent on the result. So they are very oriented towards the result. It's only about winning for them. That's very good. To have that competitive spirit, it's very good. But that is if you're prepared for a fall also. because it's not really the successes that make us, it's the failures. They are the pillars of your strength, pillars of your life. Why? Because there'll be only one winner, as we've already talked about. So the others will not be losers. They'll again have grown in the journey. So make it about the journey instead of making it about the result of the pageant. Focus on the growth that you're going to get. Yes, there will be times when you would be overwhelmed with the anxiety to win. There will be a pressure. What will I do if I don't win? There will be lots of opportunities for you. So yes, you should always focus on winning, but you should be prepared also for not winning. Because wherever we are in life, Dr. Akshata, so okay, not Dr. Akshata, I've been calling you Dr. Akshata for so long, it's going to be Akshata now. So
Oh, it's
Akshata,
okay. You can call me whatever.
so since I love you so much, I'm going to call you Akshata. So Akshata, I was saying that in life, we need to have a level of satisfaction wherever we are. Ambition is very important. It will propel us forward, yes. It will take us to the greatest heights. But that has to come with a basic level of satisfaction from where we are right now. If you're satisfied where you are, then probably the result will not alter your life that much. So it will just be a
Right.
journey forward. So you become Miss India. Now you will still have another thing. You'll have another anxiety. I want to be the Miss World. Once you've become Miss World, you'll have another anxiety. Oh, I want to be an actress now. Supposing you want to be an actress. Now, once you're an actress, you'll be like, I want to be in a Karan Johar movie. So anxiety is never going to leave you. You'll have
It
a
is never
series
going to
of
be it. That's so rightfully
yes. So
said.
you'll have a life which is going to be filled with, the next, what is next, and the anxiety to get that. So make it about a satisfaction right now, and then add ambitions and be prepared because there will be. Don't make your mindset so strong that you cannot adjust. If you have a very strong mindset, you may not be able to take the opportunities when they come to you. You may just miss them because you're not prepared. You had some other plan. Well, life
Right.
maybe had a better plan for you and you were not open to it. So be open.
Right.
That's what I think
Right.
is a
Wow.
opinion for
Some
them.
golden words coming from you for the Miss India category. So let me just sum it. So Dr. Shuchi says that the Miss category contestants, of course, they put undue pressure on themselves because they're all thinking about winning, winning, winning. But at the same time, you have to be open. Keep your mind open to so many other opportunities and options that may open up to you. And life may have a different plan for you. Life may have a better plan for you. And don't hold yourself responsible for any of your failures or something that you don't get, because sometimes life throws your success to you in a different way. Right, Dr. Shuchi?
Yes, very true. Okay,
Yes,
so Mrs.
Devika
The
says you're
Mrs.
excellent at understanding our emotions right now. Yes, Dr. Shuchi is absolutely great at understanding
Thank you, Viveka.
the emotions of each of the categories. So I think now shall we take on the Mrs. category?
Okay, so I think the Mrs. category is the most mature category that will be coming into the pageant. They've seen the world, they have matured, they have, had their fights, they've had their struggles, and now they've all grown. Now, once they're coming here, it's basically to find out more about themselves. It's to explore the unknown within them. It is to find out what more they could be. It's just to explore. I think that they're trying to, yes, at this time, then winning does become important. But I think the growth curve is more important for these women. And to whatever anxieties they've had, whatever dreams that they have, they've had to let go, all of them will become, true here at this pageant. So for them, I think you should just enjoy the journey. You will learn so much. You will be spiritually, emotionally, and even physically much stronger. So enjoy the journey. You will have a lot of learnings in the form of, well, like for me, when I was in Mrs. India, I was a contestant there. I met so many other women all over the country. These 50 women were 50 stories for me. There were 50 women who had very difficult lives. There were people who survived domestic violence. There were people who survived cancers. There were people who'd had major losses in their families, and all of them, how they came out of it, to learn how they managed such difficult situations in their life made me spiritually stronger, and then propelled me towards being where I am today, towards helping other people uncover their spiritual side, which would ease their flow through difficult situations. Because I have seen the pain. Everyone in especially at our age, I feel we've seen the world, we've all experienced some or the other kind of pain, and once you've been through a pain, you don't want the other person to go through it. You want to empower them so that they don't go through it. So I think the Mrs. category should just be about, relaxing and enjoying the journey, and yes, uncovering all the dreams that you've had.
Great. So Dr. Shuchi feels the Mrs. category contestants are the most mature, mentally strong individuals that are there in this pageant. And for them, she says, enjoy your journey. Any dream that you have lived in your mind, it is time to actually live it in present, because you had your share of obstacles, you've had your share of experiences. Everything that has happened in your life has made you the woman that you are. So take pride in it, because yes, if you keep at it, you don't need to run behind success. It'll just come behind you.
True. So we've covered that question now, haven't we?
The next thing that... Yes, absolutely. So I think it's time to go on to the next question. This question is from Mohika. She says, how to make your mind strong so that we do not get bothered when something just pops up and you tend to get very nervous, because my nervousness shows on my face. So how do I cope up with it before going on stage?
Okay, that's a good question. So, whenever you're in a competition, I'll take the example of, Abhinav Bindra, if I'm taking the right name, the one who was a shooter and represented India at the Olympics.
Yes,
I'm saying the right name?
Yes, the gold medalist.
Yes. So Abhinav Bindra shared his experience, saying that once he was at the Olympics and the last round was about...
Oh, we lost you, Dr. Shuchi. We're not... No.
Can you hear me?
Yes. You'll have to repeat the Abhinav Bindra thing again.
Okay. So he was with his gun at the last few minutes when he was about to perform for the Olympics for the final round. So at that time, something went wrong with his gun.
Okay.
He was alone, and he, instead of panicking, decided to take action. He tried to work with his gun, and it was still a little, unmended. It still needed a little more work. He still went out with it. He knew where he was lacking, and he made up for it with his skill. He still won the gold. So that is what happens. What you have to do is, at the time when you should be... so you may think that this is the right time to panic. It's actually the right time for balance. So find your balance at that time. Instead of focusing on the problem, like I said previously, try to just focus on the solution. Okay, this has happened now. Also, this other thing I think I can tell her, that if it shows on your face, then, you fake it till you make it. Smile. Smile excessively. Now, nobody knows that you're smiling out of nervousness because you're smiling. So the smile will have the attention of everyone's attention will be on your smile. So just keep it like that. In front of the mirror, when you're practicing, just keep smiling. It should be an overzealous smile which just hides your nervousness. So just act confident till you are confident, and then you will become confident, because your brain will understand that this person wants to be confident right now, and it will be confident. So just keep faking it till you make it.
Okay. Well, Dr. Shuchi says, smile and smile. Also, they were clearly told in the previous Instagram session with Alicia ma'am and Siddhant sir, where they said you have to smile. Whatever the emotions are there inside you, all you have to do is smile. And I think once you keep smiling, slowly, the nervousness anyway ebbs.
Yes,
So
but
that's a
the
trick,
good hormones
you know?
in the body, they come into play. So these endorphins, they'll make
Yeah,
you feel good and the nervousness will just go away.
correct. So then, because you can't mentally curb your nervousness, so physically you're
Yes.
trying to use your muscles, you're trying to use your physical smile. Once you physically smile, then internally you will start smiling. So that's an awesome trick coming your way, all you guys who are watching. Great. So one thing I'd like to ask, okay, next question. I don't know who has sent us this. What are the common mistakes that we do in pageantry as a pageant girl on the pageant stage?
On the pageant stage. Okay. So,
Yes.
first thing, don't be excessively aware of your body. Don't think you're just hands and feet. You just focus on your smile. Your hands and feet will be in the right place because that's the first thing that the judge will be able to see you for. They'll be looking at your body form, and if you're just fidgeting, then it shows a lot of nervous energy. So keep your hands and legs in the
Yes,
right place
absolutely.
and smile. So this is the first thing. Then on stage, the next thing that will come to you is question. So, at the time of the question, again, you will have to be at the present moment. If you're in the past or in the future thinking, that my life just depends on this question and I have to answer it right, then the answer will not come out fine. So manage that question with mindfulness. Like I said, you can try to improve the content of your answer from today. A rehearsed answer will never work because they will not ask you the question you have rehearsed. That will never happen. It
Yes.
never happens that way.
It
But
never
then,
happens.
however, you can have an improved content. Now, how will you have an improved content? You should read more. Listen to, world leaders. Listen to what their ideas are. Listen to what their ideals are. That will help you form the content for your answer. And that will, again,
Great.
help you allaying the anxiety on stage.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because,
So
you're,
golden
yes.
tips coming again from Dr. Shuchi. Yes, so and under no circumstance lose your poise and your compassion at the same time, because that is somewhere it's going to connect to the jury members, to the audience, and even if you don't win tonight that night that crown, you're going to be winning hearts, so many hearts. So that is the connection that you need to aim for, not the crown. If you're actually establishing that connection, the crown will come crawling to you.
Yes.
Great. Then I have another question. She says, what is the reason for anxiety in people even when they're doing well?
See, a little bit of anxiety, I said, is good. And anxiety is something which is very natural. When you're going on stage to feel a little anxious, thinking, whether or not I'll win, that's normal. Accept it. Accept it as a normal part of the process. Don't focus on now what will happen, now I'm going on stage. Now that feeling everybody has. Every single person who will be there will feel a little anxiety. So that's normal. Stop focusing so much on the anxiety and on the nervousness. Instead, focus on what is good. Enjoy that walk, because that walk doesn't come again and again. Enjoy the walk,
Right.
enjoy the audience, enjoy the judges, and the anxiety will be nowhere near your mind because you'll be enjoying the moment. From where will the anxiety come into your brain? Because there's no space for it. So just keep enjoying, relax and enjoy. I think, Dr. Akshata, we will be sharing the relaxation techniques also in
Yes.
session which we will be having there just before the finale.
Absolutely.
So I think it's become a lot easier for everyone to, relax. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. In fact, when we were trying to establish the connection, I just told them that there are two things that I want to tell them about Dr. Shuchi. One thing is, when you actually meet her in person, you're going to be blown away, because the kind of calming effect that she has, not only in this session, but when live in person, that's going to be absolutely fantastic and fantabulous. And the second thing is, welcome. And the second thing is, apart from the counseling and the advice that you give, the way you listen to the opposite person's problems or issues and then have a solution which is tailor-made to them, because everything does not fit into a box and cannot be applied generally. Each person has different needs. So I was just telling them that you're going to have such a beautiful mentor who listens so well, so carefully to every word that comes out of your mouth. She's going to listen so carefully and give you that tailor-made solution. So let me take a few questions, because I don't think they're going to let you go. Although we have exceeded 60 minutes, but we had a few interruptions. So I hope you don't mind, Dr. Shuchi, me taking those
I can be here for some more time. Yeah.
Okay. So let me just, I think I had a question from Jayashree. I'm trying to find, okay, let me take Sonika's question. She says, if the past is disturbing you a lot, how to tackle that?
Okay, so I think that's a very beautiful question, and it is a very relevant question for most of us. It is not really possible for me to address it in a minute here in this live session. We all have past stories which have shaken us inside, which have shown that where we've struggled, we've been unable to cope, and that comes back to us as as stress, as a disorder,
Yes,
as an anxiety. It keeps
yes.
coming back to us. Now, to deal with that, you will have to understand that one, there should be balance in your life. This balance is again that same universal energy which I'm talking about. I am willing to call it God. Some people who are atheist, don't believe in God, can call it that universal energy, that divine power. You need to at some point connect with that, and that is spirituality, trying to find who you are inside. Once you understand who you are, you can delink from or detach from half of the problems that you face in your past. The
Right.
second step will be getting over what happened. Again, that does not come easy, because sometimes what has happened, people can have huge losses, terrible losses. When you need to understand that this world is about the journey of one person. When we came, we were one, we were crying. When we go alone, and we are again crying. So this space in between, we have to figure out how to fill that with smile, because that is the motive of this life. Again, to understand how that can be done, you need to awaken your spiritual side. It will take time. Again, it is not an answer which can be just given in 2 minutes, that how can you just forget, because things are not easy to forget. But you can move on. You can find something more positive. You can find how to deal with, say for example, you've had a blow to yourself in terms of your self-esteem, or you've had a major loss in the family. Then you can just make it a point to serve anyone else who's going through that, anyone else
Yes.
who's had the same problem. Because whenever you try to uplift someone else, you will feel uplifted yourself. Whenever you try to empower someone else, you will feel empowered yourself. Someone else who is, see, you may not be able to give a clear answer to someone, but even to understand that person's difficulty, to understand that person's position, can sometimes be all the answer that that person is looking for. Because we all have difficulty, and there are not always clear-cut answers. However, it is a journey wherein we keep learning. So you keep learning that this that is coming to you is a part of this journey. I think we can take it forward.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. So I think Sonika, Dr. Shuchi has given you a beautiful answer. And the most important fact that you addressed is, Dr. Shuchi, spirituality is not about any faith or any religion or any idol worship. It is about what you believe inside you. What is that inner self that speaks to you? That is your spiritual self. Most of the times people think spirituality is God, and it's only related to idols and Pat Puja, and it's very specific to a particular religion or a faith. You have kind of you have busted that myth that spirituality is far from all of this. It is. So thank you for that. So I'll just take two more questions and then we'll end this session. One question is from Khushbu Mishra. She's not able to find the reason for her anxiety, but she's anxious, and she wants you to help her find the reason for her anxiety so that she's well aware of it.
Okay, if you have no reason for your anxiety, you've already reached step one, that there is no reason. So don't be anxious. It's that simple. There is no reason. And why are you
so
anxious?
cute.
We're just trying to find a reason to be anxious. There are other people who have reasons to be anxious. We're trying to tell them not to be anxious. You have no reason. Don't be. Just smile your way through the journey. Yes.
And last question I'd like to take from is from Jayashree. She says, how to inculcate the mindfulness in ourselves.
Yes. So mindfulness again comes, it's a practice actually. You can start practicing that breathing exercise which I told you, and there'll be some other relaxation exercises that we'll deal with. Now, once you become focused on your breathing, the only thing that is in your mind is how your breath is entering you with a lot of positive energy and how it is taking out all that is bad in your body. All the toxins, all the negative energies are exhaled out. Once you keep doing that for a continuous period of time, you are able to reach a level wherein the past and the future become non-existent and you are just your breath at that time. That brings about mindfulness. You become more aware of where you are right now. And once this becomes a practice, you can be mindful everywhere. Mindfulness is a great practice because then it improves your efficiency. You're 100% where you are and you're 100% focused on what you're doing. That gives you better results. So everyone should be more mindful. Just try those exercises and I think you will be doing much better.
That was some amazing. I think we've had a massive Instagram live session today, and I don't think I want to go. I could keep talking to you for hours together.
Okay, Akshata, I actually read a comment wherein Shaheen says that I can't breathe when I'm scared or anxious. That's one way of actually increasing your anxiety. Now, being a doctor, I can tell you that rapid, shallow breathing, which we do when we're anxious, like we're going on stage and we're like, we're going there. Now, this kind of reduces the oxygen that you have in your brain, and even holding your breath. What will happen now? That kind of a thing, again, will actually increase your anxiety. So at that time, what you need to do is deep breathing. Just breathe in and breathe out slowly. And you'll be where you are. You'll be mindful and you'll have no anxiety in you. You'll just be at peace.
Wow, that's brilliant. So Shaheen, there goes your solution as well. So I think thank you so much, Dr. Shuchi, for all the golden tips, all the practices that you have shared with all our viewers, and taking their questions, answering them so beautifully. Lots of love to you. Lots of love to your little baby. I have to tell all of you, Dr. Shuchi has a beautiful daughter, and she's giving us her precious time. So I think it's time to let her go back to her daughter. And we look forward to having you on board with us during the entire pre-finale grooming week. I'm sure everybody is absolutely looking forward to meeting you live in person, and you're going to be the problem solver and the solution provider because they're already in love with you. I'm already in love with you.
Oh, thank you. I've had an amazing session myself. I've enjoyed. I hope I could, help any one person with even the minutest of problems that they had. And I think if I did that, I'll be honored. I'm really thankful for being here.
Thank you. Love you, Shuchi. We'll be in touch and we'll catch up very soon. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.